What's up, you guys? Let's get right into some fundamentals of sculpting acrylic. Tip. So if we were going to be building any type of shape, let's say we're building a coffin shape, then I'm going to submerge my brush. I'm going to bounce, 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 bounce to get a nice bead on one side of my brush. I'm going to release as much liquid off of this as I possibly can. And this is going to give me the consistency where when I set it to the very, very tip, it doesn't move. Then what I can do is I almost split the bead in half. I'm going to walk this side of the bead from the top, get it connected, right? Look at that. From the top, get it connected. And then whatever excess there is, this is where I can literally start to stretch the shape into whatever. If I wanted to go stiletto, I could go stiletto. If I want to be able to kind of manipulate this clay, this beautiful consistency all the way to the front. Look, and if I need to stretch it, I can stretch it. The consistency is absolutely beautiful. Bring this out to the side. Take a look because of the form. Because I have the form on that way, I'm able to get my side walls, look at that, absolutely perfectly straight out to the side. You don't want them to dip. You don't want them to hang down. You want them to be absolutely perfectly straight coming off that growth channel. It doesn't matter if it's gel or acrylic. What you're going to do is set yourself up for the overlay. Okay, so, all right, so we need a big bead. Submerge my brush. Get it I'm going really wet to get monster. Bounce, 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 bounce. 1, 2, 3, around 4, I'm going to release. It gives me consistency to push around the perimeter of the nail without creating a ledge. I'm going to hold the flow. As it runs past the stress area, I pull from the corners first, then the front. I hold the sides, holding everything. Everything is running perfectly towards the perimeter of the nail without running onto the skin and creating perfect ledges. Now the consistency is beautiful where I'm literally flattening my brush. Notice I have connection. I'm working over the top. See, I'm working over, right? And then lightly kind of brushing it through to fill everything. And this is like, it doesn't matter if you're doing a sculptured nail or a tip, you're doing the same process. You're starting from the cuticle area, learning to control. What I'm trying to do is trying to get an upper arch here, as you guys can see, a very natural one where everything kind of slides. You want the acrylic to kind of level this way by itself. You don't want to force it into that shape. And then once you actually have everything in place, you can use the body of the brush to kind of pat it. I still don't have enough product right here at the tip, so what I would do is I don't need a lot. We're talking a very, very small bead. I could set my brush backwards. Just kind of set that in to blend back, right? And then use, again, the body of the brush just to walk over the top and let that dry, right? So at any point, if you feel that you don't have enough product, especially at the stress area, my suggestion, and I won't add a lot, I just want to show you a tip, but if you, like, again, wherever you're applying products, right, let's say I needed some right here, then I would kind of push behind and from the front, you see I'm working around to blend it, but most of the bulk I'm leaving in place. As it starts to set, I start to use the body of my brush just to kind of work it from side to side. And then when I really feel like it's starting to set and blend in, then I could start using the brush just to kind of feather it in. And what this will do is it'll leave a majority of the product where you want, add the bulk that you need, and blend around, right? So come patting around while it's wet, right? Because I don't want lines all the way. I don't want like this big bead line all the way around. That doesn't make any sense at all. You can barely see it. Look, if I get really close, you can see where I added it, right? I mean, it's barely. Just have to wait till this sets. The bottom is actually starting to set right now. I'll probably be able to take this off. And you can see I had plenty of time to come in, and if I wanted to shape like this really, really, really tight C curve, And again, you have about a 4-minute window. On the practice hands, you have more ability to come here in the body and pinch right here. It's where you're pinching, right, is that part right there, right? So it narrows the growth channel. It makes it super, super tight all the way through. But that's how you're going to be able to get your C curve dialed in. So once we actually have this completely dry, we can kind of file this into shape. You can see I'm really just kind of manipulating it from the top. And even if the free edge is off, you can see once I actually have that dead straight, right? Once I file that straight, it's going to be straight right there. Look at my sidewalls. I haven't even done anything. You can already start to see how straight they are on both sides. I barely have to do any shaping on the sides in order to get that super, super tight. Once we have that set, then I'm going to take my hand file, keep contact with the whole entire side. You're going to notice the blue side of the file, and you're also going to notice that I have a very, very straight ledge from the very end. So that means my file was well connected all the way. I'm not swiveling while I'm working. I have well-connected file to acrylic. See the content? That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have it out here. The highest, like for me, I really have to, that's kind of a bulge right there moving off. So if I'm putting a little bit of contact right up there and then trying to bring that shape in, not too much. I don't want to file that side away completely. I don't want to go so deep that it exposes a lot of natural nail. I might get a little bit, but you can start to see the shape come in. And then the front end, you can square off, right? So we're in position here. Your final is always going to be there, right? Once you're looking at the client profile, but that's that's going to be the very, very end when we're done filing, right? Once you have your growth channels established, then you can see the lower arches. So my lower arch is hanging way lower than the growth channel. That means I have to line my file parallel to the finger at the lowest point. I keep contact, and as I file up and I file in, you're going to notice that eventually my hand file will reach that corner and try to get it as tight as I possibly can. And I have to constantly kind of work with it. I'm not going to go too crazy, but as long as I have great connection all the way through, right? I don't create ledges. That's what I want. You can see how much farther this one is. So I need to make sure that I'm starting way down here and then bringing this all the way up. Sorry, I keep losing connection, trying to keep it inside the camera while I'm working. Right, boom. So you can see, boom, I have that nice and straight. I don't really have that much filing to do anyway. So I can come around the cuticle area, get the upper arch kind of dialed in. You can see how my arch is shaped. I don't want to overfile the cuticle area, right? So one direction, just real light. And then my C curve, I'm coming down the barrel of the nail in one direction all the way through to blend that thickness on this side as well. This is what you guys will be working on, your electric filing skills. Those of you guys that know electric file, by the time you leave my class, you will know how to electric file. Boom. This is where the final details take place. So I need to make sure that I come over the top this way. I like to make a peace sign. I want to be able to rest my hand on the surface, file down this position to blend the front end as tight as we possibly can. Laid in that I'm gonna have, as you guys can see, I have barely, there's no ledge, look, oops. So if I push that in, right, you're gonna see there's no, I don't have a ledge. It blends in from this point all the way to this point. But again, looking from the side, you can see how, again, I have great structure all the way through, right? And then like as I turn the nail around on all levels and all aspects, you're going to be able to see how it's shaped out, okay? It looks like a tip. Can't wait to see you guys soon here at OWC. Keep looking out for more nail schools. Looking forward to bringing some sick content to Young Nails and all our fans out there. Absolutely love you. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you soon. Peace.